Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be the first tornadoes would be on January 19th, 2001, where I believe 3 or 4 tornadoes, EF1 and EF0, struck Alabama and Georgia. And the whole day, I think it had like 12 injuries because all these little tornadoes were striking popular places. No fatalities, no deaths, but just a little bit of injuries. Nothing too serious. And as I was saying, it hit popular places such as this EF0 that hit Montgomery, 4 injuries, and then where's Atlanta? This EF0 that hit Atlanta with 8 injuries. On January 29th, 2001, a really brief tornado struck the east central side of Amite city of Georgia, and let me see. This tornado briefly touched down, causing damage to the wall of a movie theater and the canopy of a gas station, blowing down trees and knocking windows. But nobody was injured, nobody was hurt, everything was okay. This tornado was really brief. It was an EF0, and this was the only tornado that happened today. And just like the other tornadoes, the January 19th, 2001 tornadoes, I do not have a video of them, but that will start to change once we get into the other tornadoes. On February 16th, 2001, a derecho, really weird derecho, hit Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi. The main tornado we're going to be talking about, although there was one EF0 in Alabama and one EF0 in Georgia and like 2 or 3 EF0s in Mississippi, we're just going to be talking about the F2, the highlight of this outbreak. So basically, the EF2, it caused 1 injury and 1 fatality. The fatality or death was, so this happened at the Holmes County State Park near Durant, Mississippi. A woman was killed at the park when she took a refuge in a ditch and her car was thrown onto her. When I first saw this, I was in shock, but that's how someone really died. And yeah, hate to see it, but someone did die from this tornado or derecho or storm, or whatever you want to call it. But that's the only fatality and injury that any of these tornadoes had. Nothing much else to say about this derecho. It's just horrific. But we're gonna move on to the next tornado or tornadoes. On February 24th, 2001, hold up. This is a really devastating outbreak. No EF4s. The highest was an EF3, but still a pretty devastating outbreak. The whole day itself, 7 deaths and 90 injuries. Now, we're mainly going to be talking about 2 tornadoes. We're going to be talking about the strongest and deadliest tornado of the outbreak, and just some random EF1, because I found some information and info about that. But first, obviously, we got to talk about the Algoma to Baldwin, Mississippi EF3 tornado that hit on that day. So, one of the strongest, with the longest path, moved 52 miles through parts of Mississippi. The twister moved to the northeast, moving into Pontotoc County near the Matthews area. Most of the damage was between the communities of Algoma and Pontotoc. Approximately 360 homes, 15 businesses, and 2 churches were damaged and destroyed. Also, I believe this tornado has 6 deaths and 73 injuries. And then this EF2 in northern Arkansas has 1 fatality and 3 injuries. Now we're going to talk about this EF1 that hit in Missouri. No fatalities or injuries with this one. So this tornado developed in northeast Webster County near Highway K, or 5 miles southeast of Seymour. It moved northeast into extreme southwest Wright County near Highway 60. Damage was relatively light as it remained in rural areas. 4 outbuildings were damaged near the intersection of Fox Grape Road and Pee Wee Crossing. A hay barn was destroyed near Highway 60. Tree damage was intermittent along the path of the tornado. Top winds were estimated at 150 miles per hour. Seems like an EF1 to me. We are just going to move on to the next one. Really devastating outbreak. Let's move on to the next thing. On March 2nd, 2001, I would say brief tornado, a brief EF1 tornado hit the heart of Montgomery, but thank God, no fatalities or injuries with this tornado. And this was the only tornado that happened on that day, and it was pretty brief, but I did find some info on it, so we're going to be talking about that. So the tornado began in the Woodmere area, where a number of houses sustained roof damage, primarily in the form of lost shingles. Fences were down. Small trees were uprooted. The tornado moved northeast and tracked through the Beaver Lake subdivision, where one house under construction was flattened and another house was partially de-roofed. Sorry for my pronunciation, but that's it. You guys see, there's some videos on this tornado. As you can see, there's the radar image of the tornado. This is my speech, and that's all I gotta say. Moving on. On March 4th, 2001, 3 EF0 tornadoes struck Central Florida. Now, the strongest out of all these 3 EF0s was this EF0 that caused 250,000 damage. So the National Weather Service damage survey indicated that a high-end EF0 tornado that averaged 35 yards in width intentionally something like that touched down and uprooted 2 large pine trees, which damaged the roof of a home on Willowbrook Court in a residential community of Hudson. The tornado continued on a tree-top level northeast trajectory, where it caused additional sporadic tree and pool enclosure damage on Ashbury Drive. The tornado then began a east-northeast trajectory and removed a poorly fastened aluminum roof from a mobile home on Bud Street. As the path direction became northeast, the next sporadic touchdown occurred at the Hudson High School, where a portion of the gymnasium room was lifted, puckled, and removed, while the nearly ball field bleachers were flipped over by the tornado. The tornado continued over rural, semi-wooded western Pasco County, where it snapped 2 pine trees along Coyote Road before it lifted and dissipated. So I don't have much else to say about this tornado, but probably one of the strongest EF0s I've ever heard of in my life. But yeah. Let me see. No fatalities or injuries with the storm or tornadoes. We are going to move on to the next one. On March 8th, 2001, a extremely brief tornado hit near Guadalupe, Texas. And so this tornado, a small and short-lived tornado that was observed by amateur radio spotters just north of Candelia. The tornado was in open country and dissipated quickly, causing no damage. That's all I have to say. That's all there is about the tornado. And we're just going to move on to the next one. This tornado is really weak. No fatalities and injuries, obviously. On the cold night of March 11th, 2001, a EF1 struck, I think it was north of Beckville. This tornado continued into Panola County, Texas. A tornado developed on the southernmost cell of the squall line as it moved eastward across the county. 6 homes lost numerous shingle patches, while 1 home lost part of its roof. 2 churches suffered roof damage, numerous snapped, broken, or felled trees. So that's all I gotta say about this tornado. Let's move on. On March 12, 2001, a mild tornado outbreak. The reason I say mild is because the highest rated tornado was only EF2, but there was still a lot of tornadoes, so I'm gonna call it a tornado outbreak. Brief and mild tornado outbreak. Well, I wouldn't say brief, but mild tornado outbreak. Yeah, but we're only gonna be talking about one tornado that happened, and that is this EF1 that caused 5 injuries. The whole storm overall caused 2 fatalities and 15 injuries, but we're just gonna be talking about this EF1. So, a supercell thunderstorm produced a tornado that moved out of Walthall County into Marion County, about 2 miles west of Kokomo. The tornado traveled 5 miles to a point 3 miles east-northeast of Kokomo. The next tornado touched down about 2 miles east of Columbia and traveled 6 miles to a point 7 miles east-northeast of Columbia. The next tornado touched down 9 miles east-northeast of Columbia and traveled into Lamar County to 0.4 miles northeast of Oak Grove. The final tornado produced by a supercell in the Jackson National Weather Service County warning area touched down in the northwest part of the city of Hattiesburg and traveled across northern sections of Hattiesburg, then across the city of Petal. This tornado lifted up about 2 miles east of Petal. Damage reports in Marion are somewhat difficult to estimate because an earlier tornado affected portions of the county and severe thunderstorm that produced the first tornado in the county caused damage in the city of Columbia before the second tornadic storm moved into the county. Damage to homes in Marion County from the tornado estimated at $700,000, with other damage in the county listed up under separate storms. The total damage from the tornado in Lamar County is estimated to have been around $4.5 million in Lamar County. The tornado destroyed 5 houses, 24 mobile homes, 1 business, and 17 farms. The tornado caused major damage to 33 houses, 30 mobile homes, 1 church, 2 businesses, and 7 farms. Minor damage occurred to approximately 30 mobile homes, 8 apartment units, 1 church, 2 businesses, and a farm. The total damage from the tornado in Forest County was estimated to be around $6 million in Forest County. The tornado tracked through populated areas of Hattiesburg and Petal. The tornado caused major damage to 112 houses, 1 mobile home, 8 businesses, and 6 vehicles. Additionally, the tornado caused major damage to 223 houses, 4 mobile homes, and 21 businesses. Despite the widespread damage across 3 counties, no serious injuries were reported in the storms. On March 13th, a pretty strong tornado hit Daytona Beach, Florida. So this F1 tornado and strong downburst winds touched down in the heart of Daytona Beach, just west of the Halifax River Lagoon. At least 100 homes and dozens of vehicles were damaged. Many due to fallen trees, boats on trailers were overturned, and the roof of a furniture store was destroyed. An airplane was overturned at Daytona Beach Airport. 5 people were injured. 3 were taken to an emergency room. Damage estimates were near $5 million. That's all I gotta say. Thank God nobody died. Okay, so On the night of March 14th, leading to March 15th, I would say mini outbreak because it was only 3 tornadoes. They were all EF2s, by the way. Hit Florida and Georgia. One EF2 hit Georgia with 13 injuries, and then the other 2 EF2s hit Florida. One with no injuries and fatalities, and one with actually 1 fatality and 21 injuries, which happened on 4:30 a.m. So basically, let's see. So on March 14th, leading to March 15th, an F2 tornado touched down in the Sunny Hills subdivision near Gin Lake in southeast Washington County and raced northeast into southwest Jackson County. The tornado struck the Country Oaks, Buckhorn Creek, and Highview Acres communities. The hardest hit area was Highview Acres, where 20 homes were damaged or destroyed. 1 man was killed when his mobile home was destroyed. 21 people were injured. Hundreds of trees were uprooted and debris scattered over several miles along the tornado's path. Numerous downed power lines affected 4,500 customers, reported by the Washington County EMA. So this outbreak, I'm not going to call it an outbreak anymore. I'm just going to say March 14th tornadoes. Mainly only the EF2, pretty devastating. Yeah, pretty devastating once again. Yeah. We're going to move on to the next tornadoes or tornado. Pretty devastating. Hate to see it. On March 15th, 2001, the morning, at 8:05 a.m., a extremely brief EF0 tornado with only 10,000 damage went across north of Pavo, Georgia. This F0 tornado touched down along Highway 122 and raced northeast toward Pavo in extreme northwest Brooks County. The tornado uprooted trees and downed power lines along its intermittent damage path. Sorry about my pronunciation. Reported by a Skywarn storm spotter. So this tornado did really nothing. Nothing. No injuries, of course. No fatalities, of course. Just 10,000 things of damage. Pretty sure it hit no homes either. Just maybe a little bit power lines and trees. We're going to move on to the next one. That's all I have to say. Alright, the next tornado that would happen in March, one of the last tornadoes that happened in March, March 23rd, 2001, a extremely brief EF0 rope tornado struck near Texline, southeast of Texline, Texas. Three public reports of a rope-thin tornado with no damage. The tornado remained over open country, so nobody was hurt, of course. Nobody was killed. No tornado with this video. That's it. On March 29th, 2001, a tornado outbreak, highest was EF2. This Florida tornado outbreak, there was a tornado outbreak in Florida, although there was an EF0 in South Carolina.
Have you been naughty?
So the highest was
or
EF2.
nice?
One of the EF2s, more than 85 homes were damaged and green roads, knocking out power to 10,000 of residents. And actually, someone got injured by one of these EF1s of the storm, not the one in South Carolina, but a woman got injured by glass shattered